What is up, Nerf Nation? I'm Naptown Nerf, and today we're doing an unboxing and review of the Nerf Rival Artemis. I'm really excited for this blaster. I had to even pay a little extra at Toys R Us for this just to get a first look at it. I wasn't patient enough to wait for it to come out at Target or Walmart so I could get it a tad cheaper. This is a really cool new blaster out of the Rival line. It's going to hold 30 balls in a pretty small package, which is really cool. I think it's might be the most practical Rival blaster there is so far because of the capacity and size of the blaster. It's going to shoot one Rival round at a time. Comes with 30 Rival rounds. It's a pump action prime and pull the trigger to fire, so pretty standard there. Take a look at the back here. Pretty standard stuff. Nothing too overly exciting, but it does have slam fire, so that's new for the Rival line, and that's pretty neat. So we'll have to take a look at that. One other thing I wanted to show you guys is they're going to come out with a flashlight foregrip, which is pretty cool. Hopefully it's good and stable, which is always the worry. Hopefully they have some sort of way to lock that down onto the tactical rail and it's going to be secure. And then there's also a red dot sight that's going to come out, and hopefully that's a real red dot sight. That would be super awesome. We'll definitely do reviews of those when they come out, and I'm really excited to possibly throw one of those on my Chaos. So let's go ahead and get this beast out of the box. Alright, so you get the blaster, you get your 30 high impact rounds, and you get some directions. Alright guys, so this is the blaster. It's a pretty good size. I would say it's about the size of my forearm. So, pretty good size, I think. Very, very comfortable trigger, like most of them, very large. Foregrip is somewhat uncomfortable in my opinion. I don't really like where my finger and thumb go, but if you grip down here, it's a little small, but not terrible, not bad. And then obviously you pull back, pull forward, and fire. So it's definitely not as loud to dry fire this as the Atlas was. So to load your balls, we're going to pull back this, and there's 3 slots in here that you can load balls. So you load 10 in each one. So that's pretty neat. We'll do that in a second. Obviously you got a tactical rail up here for maybe that red dot sight when it comes out, or you can also slip over your Nerf attachments there usually, so that's pretty cool. There's also, on this side, there is a trigger lock like you see on a lot of the Rival blasters, so that's neat. And then you have your 2 sling points here on the grip and the back of the blaster. Okay, to go ahead and load up the blaster, we're going to take our Rival rounds, then we're going to stuff them into these holes. Oh, there goes one. Losing them already, and I don't have that many extra with me. Very easy to load. I could see that being super easy to do on the fly. If you just carry some extra rounds with you, you can just stuff them in there. I really like this, honestly, compared to the Rival magazines. The Rival magazines I like, but they're kind of difficult to carry around with you, and if you do carry them around in a pouch, I mean, they're small, but the balls will pop out as you're running, so they have definite issues. And then when you load them in, they can shoot out rounds into the firing mechanism and jam the blaster pretty easily. I actually kind of prefer this to magazines because of that reason. I prefer magazines if they function well and they hold your ammo in when you're running around, but since the Rival magazines don't really do that very well, I definitely prefer this system. So I've loaded up my 30 rounds, and all you have to do is just push this back forward, and it locks in right there, so that's pretty cool. And now you're ready to fire. So I'll shoot off a couple rounds. I don't want to lose these, so we'll only shoot a couple, but hopefully you can see how the thing rotates and comes around like that, loads a ball into the breech, I guess, and then you're ready to fire. And that shot pretty well. Came right back to me, and now it's under the camera. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. First impression, I really like this blaster. I think it's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and take it outside and see what it can do. Okay, I'm going to put some rounds over the chronograph with the Nerf Rival Artemis. Just so you know, that the big tree there in the middle is about 60 feet away from where I'm firing, and I'll try to get you more accurate information after the range test is over. Here we go. All right, now I'll try slam fire. All right, I actually got a tape measure put down here, and I was wrong about the tree. It's about 75 feet, so a little off on that estimate, but glad I got a tape measure out to give you guys good ranges here. So the shortest ones are just past 37 feet. 37 feet there, so that's where the shortest ones land. A lot of those just went straight down in the ground for whatever reason. So as I zoom out there, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that went between 37 and 41 feet. Then here, this is about 48 feet. There's a few more, about 3 more right there. We come up, there's one over here and one there, and that's about 53 feet. Then up a little further, we got a couple more over there, and up here about 58 feet, and then the majority are right around 60 feet. As you can see over here, I was shooting just a little left of where the tape is laying, but they were seeming to curve somewhat to the left for whatever reason, especially the ones that went further. So those were about 62, I'd say the average is about 63 feet, 62, 63 feet, right around in there. So there's another one there, and then up here there's another one, and one over there, which are about 70 feet, a little less than 70 feet. And then the furthest one caught the wind a little bit and went all the way up to 80, it's over there. You can see it barely hiding in the leaves there, and it's about 82 feet. So, pretty good ranges here. I am at my parents' house, so that's why there's a whole nother, this is my parents' house. My dad designed it, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, and it's got a nice lot of land to shoot Nerf blasters, so that's fun. But yeah, that's the shop that I was shooting towards, if you saw that, and hope you enjoyed the firing demonstration. We'll go back inside and finish up the review. Pretty impressed by this thing. It's doing everything well, I think. I think this is going to be a great HVZ blaster. I know a lot of people love loading on the fly. This thing is super easy to load. You just have some extra rounds. You can put it in any 3 magazines, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to have them all full. It's going to fire a ball no matter what, if any of them are loaded, and you can run around and they're not going to come out of there. Like, I'm shaking that pretty hard, nothing's coming out. And then obviously you have that pretty cool device. It's just super quick to load, so I think people are going to like that a lot. I definitely expect to see quite a few of these at NVZ. For people that don't mod, I think this is a great blaster. I don't know how much modding potential this has. That's like the one downside to most of the springers in the Rival line. There's only so much you can do because there's a lot of gears inside of this, but they are pretty darn good stock as is, so that's a definite advantage. So it kind of depends on what you like to do with your blasters. Definitely stock. I think this is a great blaster. FPS readings were a tad low for my model for whatever reason. I was getting an average right around 85, so mid 80s, and usually it should be upper to 80s to low 90s. And I don't know if it was my chronograph was reading a little low today or what, but just something to take note that other people got a little higher FPS readings than I did. Range was pretty darn good, as you could see. Average right around 60 feet or so. Balls did sometimes have a tendency to come out and drop down short for whatever reason. I don't know why that is, but I don't know if it was hitting the front here when it was coming out of the barrel. One thing it is you kind of need to get used to is that you're shooting from the bottom barrel and not from the top like most blasters. So that was something to get used to, but I don't think that that's a big deal at all. I really think it's cool that Nerf is creating new types of blasters that feed differently, that function differently, and I think that's great. I think it's cool that this thing has slam fire, although I don't think it's super practical to use. The only time I could see it being, I take that back. It's practical to use if you're facing like a horde of zombies, but not something I would want to use on people versus people, because you just really lose a lot of accuracy and the blaster's moving around a lot when you're slam firing. It's hard to keep this still because there's no stock and slam fire. So that's one downside, but that's to be expected with slam fire. So, and I do think, I'm going to test this out, but I think this, I mean, this is supposed to hold 30 balls, but I think you could at least get 33 in there, if not more. I've had no jams with this blaster. There is no jam door, so I don't know what would exactly happen if you do get a jam. One other thing to note is you can actually front load this blaster in fire, so if you're in an emergency and you don't have time to pop one in here, you can definitely just throw one in the front, although I really don't think that that would be faster than just putting one in here, but it is an option, and you still will be able to fire a ball. Yeah, pretty cool blaster. I really like it. I think it's awesome that they are making something that's high capacity but not humongous. Very practical size. I think this is going to be a very, very popular blaster, and I highly recommend it. It did cost me $49 at Toys R Us, which I think is a little crazy. I would highly recommend waiting until it comes out at Target or Walmart or a place like that where you can get it a little cheaper. I think it's supposed to retail around $45, and even that's a little pricey in my opinion. But if it's something you really like and think you'll use a lot, then go ahead and go for it. I do think you'll be able to find it probably on sale pretty soon. All the other Rival blasters after coming back out have gone on sale pretty quickly, and you should be able to find it hopefully for under 40 bucks, which I think is a little better price. So I got this at Toys R Us, so if you want one right now, check there. I do think they're trickling out at Targets also, so you can check there also. So that's been my review of the Nerf Rival Artemis. I really appreciate your viewership. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and as always, peace out.